I delved underground in pursuit of Madrid's most renowned roasted suckling pig. Initially, I felt a twinge of frustration at the thought of dining below ground. However, as I descended, my frustration quickly gave way to awe. The beauty of underground space gradually revealed itself, transforming my worries into wonders.
Catch flights, not feelings.
Hola amigos, estoy ahora en Madrid. Today I embark on a different adventure. I delved underground in pursuit of Madrid's most renowned roasted suckling pig. Securing a reservation at this restaurant feels like mastering a strategic game. Given its immense popularity and scarcity of seating, I account myself fortunate to have reserved a spot 10 days in advance. Though I heard tales of others struggling to secure a table even a month out. For solo diners like myself, the odds of snagging a reservation seem slim, no matter how diligently one tries. And even the website displays seemingly available time slot attempting to book often leads to dead ends. I stumbled upon an interesting discovery. Booking a table for two allowed me to secure a slot. It seems they don't cater to solo diners. I reserved the earliest time, 1 p.m. for lunch at BOTIN. Their culinary tradition dates back to 1725, nearly 300 years of serving the renowned roasted suckling pig. This dish holds a special place in my heart back in the Philippines. We have our own version called lechon, which is simply heavenly to eat, whether enjoyed as it is straight from the roasting pit or dipped in a savory pork liver sauce. Lechon is a masterpiece of Filipino celebrations and for many, a symbol of prosperity. Despite having experienced roasting pigs myself, I'm eager to indulge in the unique flavors BOTIN has to offer. As early as noon, eager customers, myself included, began to crowd the area in anticipation of savoring the Asian flavors. When the clock struck 1 p.m., the restaurant swung its doors open. I presented my email confirmation and after a quick verification by the staff,
Roy, two people.
Bye-bye.
Roy, 2 personas. De los Reyes.
they surprised me by directing me towards a narrow staircase leading underground. Initially, I felt a twinge of frustration at the thought of dining below ground. However, as I descended, my frustration quickly gave way to awe. The beauty of underground space gradually revealed itself, transforming my worries into wonders. The underground space is indeed charming, adorned with walls inspired by the rustic bricks of a medieval barracks. It feels like navigating a labyrinth within a castle. I consider myself fortunate to have the opportunity to dine in such a unique setting. There's a sense of exclusivity that adds to the experience. My visit to BOTIN isn't it just about enjoying their renowned dishes, it's about immersing myself in the ancient dining ambience. Beyond capturing a good Instagram post, I'm here to truly experience history while dining. Upon being seated, I wasted no time and delved straight into ordering. Opting for their set menu, I choose to start with the sopa de ajo con huevo or garlic soup with egg, followed by the iconic Cochinillo asado or roasted suckling pig, dessert, and of course, bread and a bottle each of wine and water. The attentive staff promptly began by serving the wine, water, and bread, setting the stage for what promised to be a memorable culinary journey through time. As I waited for my main course, I decided to indulge in some wine tasting to pass the time. Before long, the main course arrived, sopa de ajo con huevo, a dish unfamiliar to my taste buds. Despite its simplicity, a garlic soup with egg, it possessed a distinct flavor profile. The texture was unexpectedly soft, leaving me intrigued by its composition. Adhering to the etiquette of fine dining, I focused on finishing the soup before anticipating the next course. Then at last, the moment I had been eagerly awaiting arrived, the masterpiece. The plate was presented with 2 generous servings of cochinillo, accompanied by potatoes on the side and a tantalizing extract of the roasted pig. It was a sight to behold, and I couldn't hardly wait to savor every delicious bite. With anticipating coursing through me, I first tasted the crispiness of the fork skin by tapping it lightly. The familiar sound instantly evoked memories of Philippine lechon, becoming a melodic delight to my ears. As I took my first bite, I found myself transported back to those moments of relishing lechon. The similarities between Madrid's cochinillos and Cebu's lechons were striking. Both could be enjoyed on their own without the need for additional sauce. However, nuances in taste become apparent. Cochinillo carried a subtle saltiness perfectly balanced, while lechon boosted a bolder flavor profile, enriched with an array of spices. Each bite was a delicious exploration of the unique culinary heritage embedded within these roasted delights. The tenderness of the meat was remarkable. It practically melted off the bone with each bite. Being a roasted piglet, the meat had a delicate flavor reminiscing of milk, adding to its unique appeal. The wine served as a perfect complement, balancing out the richness of the dish with its acidity and depth of flavor. With my stomach already feeling pleasant full, I knew I had to pace myself. Despite my appetite being slightly restrained, I found myself savoring each morsel, contemplating how I could possibly tackle the next serving. After the intense battle of devouring the cochinillo, I was looking forward to finding solace in dessert. A sizable serving of ice cream appeared before me, catching me off guard. I felt as if I were lining up in the face of impending doom, a comical realization that lightened the mood. Regrettably, despite my initial intentions, I left my wine bottle half empty, forgetting to bring it home with me. Before taking my leave, there was a spot that piqued my curiosity from the moment I arrived. A narrow passage leading to another underground chamber. While waiting for the bill, I decided to explore it further. I discovered it was their wine storage area. It was a fitting end to an unforgettable dining experience, filled with surprises and discoveries at every turn. This particular spot enhances the ancient ambience, amplifying the memorability of my dining experience. During my restroom break, I also had the opportunity to explore other sections of the dining area. I consider myself fortunate to have encountered such a unique dining setup. I'm unsure about their method for assigning customers to specific dining areas, but for those seeking an exceptional experience, I recommend inquiring about it. BOTIN is an ideal not only for relishing excellent food and service, but also for delving into history. Until my next dining experience here in Madrid. Hasta pronto, amigos!
Catch flights, not feelings.
Nadie como tú, no hay un sustituto. suavecito. Bang long.